Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 24th, 2024, and we are getting into the volume 211 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, as I mentioned in every video, I'm gonna mention it here, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin, which is currently, the most recent one is on June 2024. That's what we're looking at. But keep in mind that we are not in June yet. We still have 6-7 days to go. So this technically applies in about a week. All right, so let's start with the very first question coming from Lily Bell 6125. Hi sir, my priority is October 13, 2015. My F1 category was documentarily qualified in 2021. We are in 2024 and I'm still waiting on my interview. The sad thing about this all, my kids have aged out. Lily Bell, I'm very sorry to hear that. Are you sure that they aged out though? Are you sure that they are not falling under the CSPA? CSPA is the Child Status Protection Act, and I do have a video on it. And basically what CSPA allows you to do, it allows you on the date of your interview to subtract the amount of time the I-130 was pending with USCIS. And if that time, you can subtract from your child's age, sorry I didn't mention that, from your child's age on the day of the interview when the interview is scheduled. And if subtracting that amount of pending time from your child's age brings your child under 21, then they do qualify under CSPA. So I wanted to mention that just to throw it out there, just to make sure that we cover that. And of course, if you already are familiar with CSPA, if you already did the calculation, then you really need to start looking at other potential avenues to have your children come with you or travel at least with you, like a international student visa, just a regular visitor visa, potentially an exchange program like a J1 for example, just so that while their petition is pending, because once you get your immigrant visa, once you enter the United States with that immigrant visa, you become a permanent resident. And as soon as you become a permanent resident, if your kids are not married yet, you can petition for them as a permanent resident for unmarried children over 21. And yes, it does take a long time, but if you have the ability, if your children have the ability to travel back and forth, it makes it a lot easier to wait while their own petition is pending. But I also wanted to take a look at the visa bulletin and see what's going on for F1 in general. You're in 2015 October, and we are on July. We're gonna be on July as of June 2024 visa bulletin. So you still have about July and you're in October, so July, August, September. So you have like 2-3 more months. Hopefully we will see consistent movement on the visa bulletin, but you're pretty close to your priority date being current. So you're almost there, almost there. All right, let's move on to the next one from JQC Healthy Fit. If current Philippine citizenship, but living in Canada, what visa bulletin I follow, Canadian or Philippines? Great question, thank you for asking. So whenever it comes to the chargeability area is specifically to the country where you will be going through the interview, where you will be receiving your immigrant visa. So in your situation, it's going to be Canada because you are living in Canada. Now, there might be some individual cases where, depending on what status you have in Canada, maybe you're a temporary visit in Canada, maybe you're a visitor, like a tourist, or maybe it's a work visa or something. I'm honestly not familiar with a Canadian immigration system, so I can't really, But let's say it's something temporary and some individual cases, yeah, they might say still that your chargeability area is Philippines and schedule you through NDC an immigration interview in Philippines. But the best way to tell is through your NDC portal, because once you log into the NDC portal, if I remember correctly, I haven't logged into one in a while, it should be at the top right corner. It should tell you your category and also your chargeability area. And that's the best way to tell. But if you are a permanent resident, again, I'm not sure with Canada if even there is a permanent, probably there is. But if you're a permanent resident in Canada, you're living there full time and you've been living there for a while and you started your petition while in Canada, well, I mean, when your, petitioner filed the I-130 petition here in the US on behalf of you and you were already living in Canada, 99% you're gonna be, chargeability area, Canada. So you will be looking on the visa bulletin, you will be looking at all chargeability area and not Philippines. All right, let me post a response and we're gonna move on to the next one from T-Boy Official. T-Boy, thank you very much for being publicly subscribed. I really appreciate that. So T-Boy says, hey, thanks for your dedication for these videos. My visa class is F11, so F1, subcategory of F1. Foreign state of chargeability is Cameroon. Priority date is 27 September 2019. I applied for change in interview location when I moved to Abu Dhabi. So my case number also changed. And now I'm not sure how long I will be waiting. My case is currently at NVC. All right, great question. Thank you for asking. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin and see where your priority is at. So we're looking at F1, your all chargeability area. So July 2015 as of right now, and you are in September 2019. So you still have about 4 years and like 2-3 months before. And again, this is very rough estimate because visa bulletin does not always move 1 month every month. Sometimes it moves 6 months ahead, which is fantastic. Sometimes it doesn't move, which is not good. Sometimes it moves backwards. We've seen that as well, retrogression, which is horrible. But if it does move from now, 1 month every month, that's how long you are looking at before your availability of your immigrant visa. But let me take a look at the graph B and see when your NVC portal should be opening up for documentary qualification. It's September 2017. The priority dates that for F1, for all chargeability, that have their NVC portal opening up, and you are in September 2019. So you're looking at 2 more years until your NVC portal opens up. So about 2 more years before you can start your documentary qualification process. As far as the specific question about your interview scheduled in Abu Dhabi and how it compares to Cameroon, it's hard to tell. I know some people have specifically, and I don't remember from where. I'm pretty sure it was from a US embassy in Islamabad. One of the people on this channel, one of the commenters, they said that they changed the location from Islamabad to Abu Dhabi, and that sped up. They got the interview faster because Islamabad embassy is US embassy in Islamabad, that is. They're very busy. But compared to Cameroon, it's really hard to tell. So for everyone who's watching, as always, I'm gonna mention it. If you're watching and if you had your interview scheduled already, wherever you are, please let me know where you're from and where and how long you waited for the interview to be scheduled. Just say, I am from Libya and US Embassy scheduled me an interview. I was waiting for my interview for 7 months and I'm in the category F2A, for example. And I do have a list going right here. I only have a few countries right now, but if the list grows, it will be easier. And I'm sure, Abu Dhabi, it's a lot of people going through US Embassy in Abu Dhabi. That would be really helpful. All right, let's move on to the next question from Sohail Joya. Could you please put some light on concurrent filing of family petition I-130 and I-485 for siblings inside in USA and how long it will take to get approved? Sohail Joya, thank you very much for the question. Great question. So I can personally relate because I do have a petition for my brother. So unfortunately, he's not in the United States. So there is that separation, and the bad news is that whenever it comes to the F4 category, that is the category for the siblings of the US citizens petitioning for their siblings, it takes quite a long time. And currently, if we look at the visa bulletin, it is for all chargeability area is 2007, July 2007, so roughly about 16 years. About 16 years wait. So it's a long time, and that's really unfortunate. So the good part of your situation is that your sibling is in the United States, so there is no separation between you two. The not so good is that even if they are in the United States and you're petitioning for them, still there is a visa bulletin, there's a backlog that is involved. It is F4 category, so there is an significant amount of wait time. So that's really it. That's it's the same exact thing. You are still looking at the visa bulletin. So on this channel, every time the new visa bulletin comes out, I go through it and I compare it to the previous edition and discuss how much of the movement, whether it's a good movement or not good movement. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider. All right, let's move on to the next question from Miriam Ahvlediani. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, definitely am. Thank you for all the details. Please share your contact information. Miriam, thank you for asking. So I don't share any contact information besides the comments on this channel specifically for a reason, because if I do share any contact information, it can be interpreted as consulting services, as preparer services, or any kind of services at all. That's why this channel is called Free Immigration Services, so that nobody can come after me. And unfortunately, believe it or not, people, especially in the professional community, they don't like stuff like what I'm doing. And I'm doing stuff because I myself am an immigrant. I've been through an extended immigration, longer than probably most. Unfortunately for myself, took me about 15 years to go through everything to become a US citizen. So I'm very familiar, and besides all of that, I do have I never said a degree in law, and I worked for a few immigration attorneys. So as a paralegal, I do have experience in immigration law as well. But again, if I share contact information, if people reach out to me for any personal advice or anything like this, then I might get in trouble, because I mean there is immigration preparers that do prepare stuff for the services and stuff for money, but it's a very gray area, and I don't want to get into it. I want to have that channel going so that I can help as many people as possible. So with that being said, Miriam, if you have any questions, the only way is to submit them directly in the comments, just like your comment. Whatever questions you have, just post them, and in one of these videos, I try to make them consistently. I'll try to get to it and respond to it. So please post your question in the comments. That's what I'm gonna say, and I'll say this as well, just so that you're aware. All right, let's move on to the next one from Agbora Samubi. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing, probably am. Hi sir, my priority date is 5th February 2018 in F2B category. My case has been moved from USCIS to NVC. More than 5 months now, I have not received a case creation number. Can you advise me on this? Also, I wish to know if US Embassy in United Arab Emirates is moving faster in visa interview appointment. Thank you, sir. All right, great questions. Thank you for asking. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin, see what's going on for F2B. Going to be looking at all chargeability areas. So for graph A, the full length of the availability of the immigrant visa, we're looking at April 2016 as of June 2024. And you are in February 2018. So you still have about 2 years before the availability of the immigrant visa. Now, as far as your NVC portal goes, it is currently, the graph B is currently on January 2017. And you are February 2018. So you have about a year before your NVC portal opens up. So right now for you is great time to start preparing for documentary qualification process. Familiarize yourself as much as possible. Unfortunately, you can't log into the NVC portal and take a look around because it is going to be closed for next year. Because honestly, I'm not... I mean, it kind of makes sense why they do it, because they want you to be documentarily qualified as close to the availability of the immigrant visa as possible. It kind of makes sense, but still, you know, it keeps a lot of people in the dark. They don't know what to expect. I wish there was at least, you know, a way to get into it so that you know at least which documents you need and what kind of forms you need to fill out. Anyway, on this channel, there's a video that I've done of actual NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified. The video is called Documentarily Qualified. What does it mean? I think that's what it's called. But it starts with documentarily qualified. And in that video, you can see actual NVC portal, and you can see what documents you need to submit, what forms you need to submit. So prepare as much as possible. Obviously, it's going to be you and the petitioner, and whenever it comes to documentary qualification, it's mostly the petitioner, because as part of the documentary qualification process, it is the petitioner that needs to establish themselves as a successful sponsor. All right, so there's a lot of financial documents, there's tax transcripts that, you know, your petitioner will have to provide. From your end, it's going to be a police certificate from your country showing that you don't have any kind of criminal record or any kind of court hearings scheduled or anything like this. So yeah, as much as you can prepare for it, because in about a year it's going to be opening up, and if you're prepared, you can be done with your documentary qualification pretty quickly, and that's really it. And then it's just waiting for an interview. And that brings me to your second question as far as waiting for in line in United Arab Emirates. It's really hard to answer for me because I'm not in United Arab Emirates, and I don't know how busy US Embassy is over there. So if anyone is from United Arab Emirates and watching this video and they had their interview scheduled, please comment how long you waited, because that's the best indication. On average, as of right now, it seems to be around a year and a half in the countries that don't have as busy of an immigration traffic as some of the countries. So I would assume it's somewhere within those year and a half wait for UAE as well. But again, the best indicator, it would be someone actually who had their interview scheduled there. All right, let's move on to our next comment, probably the last question for today. Looks like a couple of comments in one. From Stunner Dukes 5239. Hello sir, does the NVC wait until your priority date becomes current, then they approve the application and open up the portal for the document qualification process? My priority date is February 26, 2023. F2A rest of the world haven't got a welcome letter from NVC. When can I expect it? And then Usama Kashif 587 says, we are same that in this category, but my priority date is 8 June 2023. Your case was approved. Okay, so great question, Stunner Ducks. Here's the thing, briefly about the process. You submit your I-130 petition to USCIS. Once USCIS approves the petition, they transfer the case to the NVC. Now, the role of NVC is to get you documentarily qualified, both beneficiary and the petitioner. Like I said in the previous response, specifically petitioner as a successful sponsor, showing that they are able to support financially the beneficiary so that the beneficiary does not become the public charge for the United States of America. All right. Now, yes, you do have to become current on the visa bulletin whenever it comes to 4 family preference categories, which you are in one of them. You are F2B, F2A. And whenever it comes to the NVC portal, it is specifically the graph B. So if we look at the graph B, right now we are on F2A, for all chargeability area, we're on September 23. And you are priority date is February 2023. So it is on September 2023 and you are February, so you are before. So your NVC portal, it definitely should be open. So you should be able to start your documentary qualification process unless the graph B did not update with the graph A, because we did see some significant movement for the graph A, but the spread between the graph B and graph A seems to be correct. So it does seem updated. Or unless you had some kind of delay in the processing of your I-130. For example, you filed the I-130 petition and USCIS came back to you and said, hey, we need additional evidence. If that's the case, then yes, potentially for individual cases that had, some kind of back and forth with USCIS, they might experience a little bit of a delay in the NVC portal opening up. But I would still recommend, because you have not received the welcome letter from NVC yet, I would recommend you reach out to the NVC, and that brings me to the second comment, asking you if whether your case was approved. And that's a great question, because NVC portal opens up only after your I-130 is approved by USCIS and you are current on the graph B on the visa bulletin. So yes, I want to ask you that question as well. Have your case been approved by USCIS and you received the 797 notice of action saying that yes, we approved your case and we're transferring it to NVC? Because it is only then you receive the response from NVC. So I'll show you if it is approved. If you know for a fact that it has been already approved by USCIS, then you can reach out to the NVC through the public inquiry form. I'll show you where to find it. I'll give you the link directly to it, but for everyone else who's watching this video, if you need to know how to find the NVC public inquiry form, you can do it. I think the easiest way is through this page right here, the visa bulletin page that you can find in the description of this video. So from this page, click at the top right here, contact us. I'm going to open it in a new tab. And then scroll down a little bit and you will see US visas contacts right here. Click on this, scroll down a little bit more, and you will see this table, and the very first row will have email public inquiry form right here. So click on public inquiry form, scroll down a little bit more, you will see the line that says online immigrant visa inquiries only, public inquiry form. So click on public inquiry form and there you go. This is your public inquiry form. NVC case number, if you have received the correspondence from NVC, you're going to have the NVC case number. If you don't have it, you can put in your USCIS receipt number that you can find on the, again, notice of action, the initial notice of receipt that you received from USCIS. Principal applicant's full name is going to be beneficiary's full name. Date of birth is going to be beneficiary's date of birth. Petitioner's full name, who you are, petitioner or beneficiary, principal applicant, your email address, and then in your inquiry, you can again describe briefly what's going on. You can introduce yourself, be very polite, very professional, and ask for the update on your case. Say that, hey, my USCIS case was approved, if it was approved already, and I am already current on the graph B on the visa bulletin, but I have not received any correspondence from you guys, so I wanted to follow up and see when my NVC portal is going to be opening up. And that's really it. So let me post a response here. And as far as Usama Kashif, priority date 8 June 2023. So I'm assuming Usama's NVC portal should be opening up very soon. Should be already open, honestly, because now they are on September. Although, let me double check something really quickly, because this is, we are looking right now, this date right here, we are looking right now for June 2024, and we are still in May 2024. So let me look at the May visa bulletin and see if there was any movement between the two. No, yeah, it's in May, it's also on September 2023. So, and you are in June, so you are before. So yeah, you are already current on this. So yeah, definitely reach out. I would recommend both if If Usama, you have not heard from them as well, if you're in the same situation, then yeah, I would recommend reaching out through public inquiry form. Honestly, I wouldn't stress about it too much because you still have about 2 years before becoming current on the graph A. So like I said, sometimes Visa Bulletin, graph A, it updates before the graph E, because the graph A updates before the graph B, because the graph B is dependent on the graph A. All right, graph A is the main what we're looking at because it shows the availability of the immigrant visa, and the graph B shows us when the NVC portal opens up, and it opens up depending on when the immigrant visa becomes available, if that makes sense. So yeah, you still have some time before your immigrant visa becomes available. So you're still within the normal, nothing crazy, but I like to be updated, and I recommend everyone, to stay on top of their cases on this channel. You don't want to let it kind of go. I'm gonna heart this as well so that someone knows that I responded to their comment as well. You want to be on top of your cases. You don't just want to let it kind of go and do whatever. So, and NVC they're pretty good at responding to these public inquiry forms. So thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully my responses were helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, just post them in the comments below, or this video or any other video. Just make sure not to respond to my comment within your comment, because I don't get notifications for those. If you have a follow-up question, just submit it as a separate comment, and I'll try to address it in one of the next episodes of these Q&A series. So thank you very much for watching everyone again. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.